it's your girl Shanice. Where you see me, I be me, and we enjoy each other's company. So I'm back with another video. And before we get into the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so we continue to enjoy each other's company. All right, y'all. So I'm not gonna take up too much of your time, but I just wanted to have a little chit chat surrounded by love. Pretty much discuss, the 5 love languages and understanding our definition of how we define love versus the dictionary version. So, first things first, the dictionary version of love and what it means. I'm going to read it to you all, and then we're going to get into what are some ways we love, or how do we define love ourselves. So, from dictionary.com, love simply means a strong feeling of warm personal attachment or deep affection, such as for a parent, friends, child, or pet. So that is the dictionary version of what love means. Now, what is your version? I feel that love is pretty much something that's given unconditional. It's not forced, and it feels warm and fuzzy inside. You know when you have that feeling of being loved. And also, this video is not to persuade anyone about what they think love is. It's just to give you some insight on, the 5 love languages, and understanding what are some ways in which you love, in which you show affection to yourself and to others. And first things first, you can't love anyone, not even a pet, a friend, a child, whatever, your partner. You can't love anyone if you don't pour into yourself and love yourself first. So first things first is to pour that love into yourself before you can give it out to others. Someone once said, like, this analogy of, oh, I'm falling in love. They don't use it because it's like when you hear it and they say, oh, I'm falling in love. It's like, I don't want to fall into anything. Falling hurts, right? So, and when you think about falling in love, it sounds like you're getting stuck, or it sounds like a trap. But to each his own. And I was like, that kind of makes sense, because it's like falling in love. And instead they used the analogy of growing in love, because love, it's a two-way street, especially if you're in, a partnership or whatever the case may be. It's a two-way street. Everyone loves love languages is not the same. Everyone doesn't love the same. And it's at the end of the day, it's a compromise. However, we must love and pour into ourselves first before we can love anything or anyone else. And I'm gonna go and touch key points on the love languages. It much breaks down the way that we love ourselves, like the love languages for ourselves, because again, we have to love ourselves first before we can love anything or anyone else. And I also want to touch on the fact, and comment below, give your feedback. I'm greatly appreciated for it and open to it. But I would just want to know, is it me, or like certain childhood experiences, or things that you have gone through in the past as a child? Do you feel like it ripples down into your adult life? And just be honest. I honestly feel like it does. And this is a transparent moment for me right now, because I feel like I do have an absent parent in my life. And some days it sucks, and some days it's like, okay, well, why create a child and be absent from their life? It just doesn't make sense to me. And I feel like this generation versus our parents' generation is so different. And it's like they want the child to do most of the work as far as building that relationship. And it's like, you brought me in this world. I didn't ask to be here, right? So time and time, you put in that effort trying to reach out and try to build a relationship with your absent parent, and nothing is working, right? Or it's always broken promises, or it's always an excuse. And this year I reached out to them and I sent a message, and the response that I got back, it was just a validation that I need, that it's not me. It has nothing to do with me. And at the end of the day, it's all about accountability. I'm a grown adult now. I'm 30 years old, and it sucks, but at this present moment, I don't have a desire to try anymore or try and build a relationship with them, because I've tried numerous of times and felt like I was always let down, and it's like pulling teeth, and that's not fair, especially as a child when you're trying to build a relationship with the absent parent. So I just want to hear your feedback in the comments below, and let me know if this is something that you're experiencing or you have experienced and how you dealt with it. Like I said, this is a transparent moment for me, and I feel like certain experiences that we go through as a child, it does have an impact on our adult life. And do you think that it determines the way that you love other people? For example, if you have that absent parent in your life, and then in your adult life, you're afraid that when you do connect with someone that they're gonna leave you or they're gonna abandon you. So just share me feedback on that, and then we're gonna get into the love languages. But as far as love languages for me, I feel like number one for me is quality time. And you don't have to really, there's 5 love languages, and oftentimes your love languages may vary over your from your childhood to adult life, so they can change. But I know number one for me is quality time. Words of affirmation. What else? Physical touch, like that affection. But yeah, so those are just to name a few as far as my love languages, but I know for sure number one is quality time for me. And let me know what your love languages are in the comments below. Like I said, I'm going to put a chart here as far as like the love languages and how they correlate with loving yourself and versus pouring into someone else, like your spouse or partner or whatever the case may be. So as far as the self-love languages, I thought this was neat because this is something that I never came across. They always describe what the 5 love languages are, but in a sense to how you should be loving or pouring into someone else versus yourself. Like I said, loving yourself is very, very important before you can give it out to someone else or anything. And also let me know, what are some ways that you love yourself? Like, do you go and treat yourself to a nice meal every now and again? Do you go and get a spa, massage? Do you take a trip? Journal? Is working out, getting up daily, working out, going to the gym, or doing home workouts, is that pouring into yourself? Like, what are some ways that you pour into yourself and you love yourself? Some of those ways for me would be, having a date at the nail salon, treating myself to a nice meal, as well as just relaxing and unwinding and playing music, like taking a nice shower and bath and just unwinding, just sitting in silence, or either just listening to music and just being in my own energy and vibing, like recharge. I have to recharge, especially, this is just in general, not just pertaining to love, but I feel like as a person, individual, we have to learn to take a step back, give ourselves grace, recharge. And one way I do to recharge is, just like I said, taking a nice shower or bath, sitting down, listening to music. I love music, so it's very soothing to me. And also journaling. I have slacked off on the journaling. I can be more consistent with journaling. And yeah, so another thing too, I don't know what y'all's beliefs are, but I do believe in God. So I just sit and thank God and pray out loud to God, and just have a conversation with God like I'm talking to another person. So those are some ways that I pour into myself each and every day. As I mentioned, it's very important to, fill our own cup before we can fill someone else's. And I feel like most of us, we go looking for stuff in the wrong places. And we just be honest, we get those signs that, okay, this is not it, this is not for me. But guess what? We're curious and we want to try it out for ourselves. That's just human nature. And it's a lesson learned at the end of the day. Like, you, at the end of the day, have to make that decision if it's something that you want to stay in or it's something that you want to remove yourself from. But we have to understand, in order to elevate our life, some things may have to change. Some things we have to remove from our life in order to elevate our life. And it is hard, and you can't, go into the future successfully without changing. You can't stay in the same place and expect change. That's just unrealistic, and we have to be more realistic about the things in our life and be more intentional. It's okay to have certain boundaries and certain standards, and just being realistic. No one is perfect. It's not like, you're going to the grocery store and you're checking everything off. And that's when I go back to saying we look for things in the wrong places. We try to find certain people that check off our list. And we got to realize that everyone is not perfect. Everyone is not going to love the same. Is that an excuse to settle? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do not settle for anything. However, if you're checking off these things on your list and you're looking for that into someone else, you're already starting off wrong, because when they ask for something in return, guess what? It's like pulling teeth, or it's like you never really thought about, well, dang, like, I don't want to do that, but you want them to do X, Y, and Z, right? It's not fair. So again, it goes back to love is a compromise. And if you're not willing to do something that you're asking of someone, then it shouldn't be on your list, period. So let's get into the love languages, the 5 love languages: physical touch, acts of service, receiving gifts, words of affirmation, and quality time. As I mentioned, number 1 for me is quality time, and then words of affirmation and physical touch. Those are the main 3 for me. However, I'm one, I love to give gifts. I love receiving things, but I love to give gifts. I just love it. Like, it makes me happy inside. And also, as we're speaking on love, like, we can't love anything or anyone else before we pour into ourselves. We have to be happy within ourselves, and that's just the way I see it. But as far as the love languages and how it pertains to self-love, in this chart here, it pretty much says, as far as physical touch, things that make your body feel good and, focus on your physical well-being. For example, exercising, taking a walk, things of that nature, spa days, things that make you feel good, okay? Acts of service, pretty much doing things for yourself that make life easier, more structured, journaling, planning out your day, therapy, cleaning, organizing. That's an example for acts of service as far as pouring into yourself. Receiving gifts, buying yourself nice things, spending money on things that bring you joy, going out, going on a vacation, a solo trip, crafting, doing your makeup, investing in yourself. That's an example for receiving gifts. As far as, like I said, the acts of service, organizing, scheduling out your day, journaling is an example of that. Words of affirmation, giving yourself those pep talks, looking in the mirror, saying, you got this, you can do this. You have to uplift yourself. You can't look for anyone else to motivate you or uplift you all the time, 24/7. You have to want it for yourself at the end of the day. Having that positive self-talk, anything you speak will come true. Anything you speak will come true eventually. So if you're always having that negative thought in your head, or you're being negative to yourself even out loud, if you're speaking that, it's going to come true. So we have to always speak positive things over our life if that's what we want to see in our life. Daily affirmations, also journaling as well, manifesting the things that you want in your life, and taking that accountability, self-improving. So that all follows under words of affirmation. Quality time, spending time alone. It's okay to unwind, recharge, and spend time alone. it can be hard because you feel like you can't be alone. Again, that goes back into, you know, the childhood experience, childhood trauma. You feel like you're abandoned if you're left alone, and that's not the case. You have to learn to be okay alone first. It's okay. Find something to do that makes you feel good, a hobby, investing in yourself, doing something that you love. Spend that time alone. It is necessary. It is needed. It is needed. That can be an example of meditating, doing hobbies, like I said, that you love, whether that is, you know, pouring into, if you have a business, if you like going skating, if you like to ride a bicycle, doing something that you actually enjoy, genuinely enjoy, reading, and taking yourself on dates, taking yourself to, you know, out to the movies, going out to eat by yourself is okay. So those are some ways that you can love yourself that falls under the 5 love languages: physical touch, acts of service, receiving gifts, words of affirmation, and quality time. And then another chart here that I came across, which I thought was interesting, ways on how you're blocking receiving the 5 love languages. And when it comes to words of affirmation, it says here, do you crave them, but then they make you feel comfortable when it's given to you? How was it given to you as a child? As a child, were you told that you were loved? Did you receive hugs as a child? And so on. Quality time. Do you crave time with your partner, but when you get it, you find that you don't enjoy the time with them? Those are certain ways that you actually are blocking the love language. As far as receiving gifts, do you crave the gifts and then feel let down when you receive them because you got a gift, someone is appreciating you, but you don't really accept it? Acts of service, do you really want help and kind gestures, and you find yourself pushing them away with your words of action, but you really need help? This actually resonates with me because I'm someone who has always been independent, and so when someone wants to help me willingly without me not asking, it's like you kind of feel guilty. It's like, no, I got it. Like, I don't want to depend on no one. And sometimes it's okay. Like, if they're willing to do it out the kindness of their heart, it's okay. You have to learn to accept and receive that, because if not, you're blocking that love language. And it's just like your overall life. If you're always having a guard up, you might be blocking that blessing. Or if you're keeping something or someone in your life and it's doing you more harm than good, you're blocking your blessing. You're blocking that next level in your life of elevation. Physical touch, a way to block this love language as far as physical touch. Do you crave it, but when it's given in abundance, it feels like it's smothering? So definitely give me some feedback. Leave comments in below in regards to some ways that you pour into yourself, you love yourself. And let me know if you agree with, you know, certain experiences in your childhood, if it impacts your adulthood as far as finding a partner or how you love or how you define love. If you just have a guard up because of the experiences you went through in life as a child all the way up into your adulthood, let me know. I feel like it plays hand in hand, and it's somewhat true, because it's like if you have certain experiences in your childhood, it's like a ripple effect. It's either a learned behavior or it's actually an experience that you went through in your life that you remember till this day. So let me know. Again, this is just something I wanted to speak on because it was on me for a while, and I was hesitant about, I'm not gonna post this, I'm not gonna talk about this, but I felt like, why not? Maybe someone else is experiencing, you know, the same thing I'm experiencing as far as, like, you know, an absent parent, and it's having an impact on their adult life. Let me know. Again, I wholeheartedly agree that we should be pouring into ourselves first before we can give it to others. And if you're not willing to compromise, if you're looking for love and you're wanting that partner or, you know, that marriage or whatever the case may be, if you're looking for love and you have this whole laundry list and some of those things on the list you're not willing to do, you got to scratch it off, because it's all about compromise. At the end of the day, it's a partnership, especially if you're one that's wanting to, marry one day. So yeah, so before we can do that, we just have to pour into ourselves every day, each day. It's not just a one-time thing, because if we don't pour into ourselves, and when we eventually get to, being in that relationship and we never invested in ourselves, it's a roller coaster, because you're going to be looking for things from someone else that you should be doing for yourself. Honestly, you should be filling your cup. Yeah, so, and then again, also, being in a relationship with someone else, it's like everyone is looking for something to benefit, right? Which is understandable, because if they're not doing anything for you, not saying materialistic things or whatever the case may be, if it's doing more harm than good, of course, it's not for you. But it's a compromise. It's a partnership, regardless of what it is. And if you're getting into something and you're not fully healed, or you're still broken, it's at the end, it's not really going to work, because that other person can give you advice, but only you know how you really feel inside at the end of the day. And it's okay to communicate that with someone else, but you can't expect them to be your therapist each and every day, because it's going to eventually start wearing down on them or draining them, and that's not fair. All right, y'all, so I've done enough talking. I'm going to leave it off here. Don't forget to leave comments with your feedback on ways that you pour into yourself, love yourself, and let me know, like, what are your love languages, and how do you define love? And if you would like to see more of these types of videos and have talks about this, I'm definitely open to it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so we can continue to enjoy each other's company. Remember, be the star you were born to be, and never let anyone dim your light to make them feel comfortable. Continue to be uniquely you, as only one of you created, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.